This skill is skill number 95, expanding and simplifying algebraic differences. So in this skill we have some subtractions, and we've got two products with algebra. So let's have a look at, say, 3 times 4 plus x, and we've got a minus here, and maybe 8 times 5 plus, say, 3x. Now, we expand each of these separately. So let's first of all expand. 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times x is 3x, and so they're positive. Now here, what I will do initially is, well, no, I'm just going to continue treating this as a negative. Now this negative 8, this is 8 times 5. Now 8 times 5 is 40, but this is a negative 8 and a positive 5, and a negative times a positive is a negative, so we'll put a minus 40. Now 8 times 3x is 24x. It's not positive 8, it's a negative 8 times a positive 3x. You can see that the negative 8 and a positive 3x, when you multiply a negative times a positive, that will equal a negative, so that will be negative 24x. And this is the negative sign that most problems happen, because a lot of people simply put a plus 24x here, and they forget to see that as a negative 8. Let's continue, and we add like terms. So numbers with numbers, so 12 take away 40 is negative 28. And now plus 3, negative 24. Now 24 minus 3 is 21, but 3 minus 24 is negative 21. And this is going to be x's, because this is 3x minus 24x. And there we have the answer, negative 28 minus 21x. Let's have a look at another one. I'll change the color here because we've got to do a few. The problem is this negative here. That's the problem. That's the problem child of this type of question. So let's look at another one. Say 7, 2. I'm just going to put in change the constant, and still a minus here. 5 and 6 plus 3k. Now here we go again. 7 times 2 and 7 times k. So 7 times 2 is 14, and that's a positive times a positive is a positive. Now positive 7 times a negative k, a positive times a negative is a negative. 7 times k is 7k. Good. Now 5 times 6 is 30, but a negative 5 times a positive 6 is a negative 30. So I'm going to put minus 30. And 5 times 3, this is a negative 5 times a positive 3 is a negative 15k. And now we add like terms, and 14 take away 30. Well, 30 take away 14 is 16, but 14 take away 30 is negative 16. And we've now got a negative 7k and a negative 15k. Altogether that makes negative 22k. So if you have a negative 7 and another negative 15, altogether negative 22k. So remember, we're subtracting. A negative and a negative make a negative when you subtract, not when you multiply. And so we've got space for one more, and we've got time for one more, I hope. So let's have a look at just one more question. Let's just go back to blue. And this time let's put a lot of negatives. Why not? Let's say 5 times 7 minus 2m minus 4 times 3 minus 5m. A lot of negatives here. Let's hope we can manage this correctly. If you want, you can pause it and work out your solution. Let's compare. Let's see how you went. 5 times 7 is, that's a positive times a positive is a positive. 5 times 2m, That's a positive times a negative is a negative. 5 2s are 10. And then 1m. 4 3s are 12. But a negative 4 times a positive 3 is a negative 12. Now 4 5s are 20. However, a negative 4 times a negative 5 is a positive. 4 5s are 20. M. That's an interesting one. A negative times a negative is a positive. Now we add like terms. 35 take away 12, and that is 23. Not so difficult. Negative 10 plus 20. Well, that's the same as 20 minus 10, and that is 10. And there is our result. 20. Oh, I thought we'd end up with a lot of negatives in the answer. However, we ended up with both positive terms in our expression. So this is simplifying. Expanding is to change. By the way, the word expand, I'll just put that here. The word expand is to change a product into a sum. So we start with a product and we expand by multiplying these two factors. We end up with a 5 and a bracket as a factor, and we finish with two terms. So altogether we finish with a sum. It's all expanded. It's all simplifiers to add like terms. So when they say and simplify, simplify means to simply add like terms. And that's what we did at the end. So I hope that this small lesson has helped clarify the issue of expanding and simplifying differences where there is a lot of subtractions between them. So until I talk to you again, stay happy.